Welcome to Mesh.
Hello, everyone, and we're live. What's going on? I'm waiting for some people to come on in. Wherever you are in the world, if it's morning, if it's afternoon, if it's evening, what's up? I see Darius is in the room. Mason, it's good to see you guys. I'm so happy. If you guys don't know, my name is Brian Pierre. I am your host for tonight's IG Live interview for The Mesh Collective. We have our podcast, we have our IG Live, and so many things going on. And I'm so happy to be here to represent. And we have a great interview for you tonight with a great and special guest. And I'm going to wait for him to come in. And when he comes in, I'll bring them right on in. But before that, let me continue to introduce myself. Again, my name is Brian Pierre, and I am an artist. I am a singer-songwriter and professor here, living in Warsaw, Poland, all the way here on the other side of the world. And I see we have our guest in here. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in and then continue to introduce. Let's see. Oh, all right. There we go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear you fabulously. Hello.
Oh, super. Super. Okay. Now, before we get into it, let me just say a few things about Mesh and jump straight into the interview. Mesh, we are a social networking platform where we bring or try to help get and collect creatives and bring them into community through our collective. And we do that through IG Live interviews, podcasts, and through our social platform, which had a soft release a few months ago, but it will have its official release coming up here in the summer. So we're so excited for that. If you are excited and you want to be notified of the things that are coming up for The Mesh Collective, go ahead and go to our website, themeshcollective.com. You can register there and receive any kind of information that you need about what we're doing in the future. So, and also on social media here on Instagram, you're already on the page Mesh CLC TV, but you can also follow us on Mesh the Podcast, and you'll be able to see all the future interviews that are coming up in the future, or the interviews that happened in the past, like with Lane Shia, and she interviewed Alan Snoop, bass extraordinaire, yesterday. So today we have a super special guest. I have the pleasure of knowing our guest for my entire life.
My entire life as well.
Exactly. But I'm happy to introduce him to this platform, to the people that are here. As you know, when we talk about creatives, we don't just mean people that are, you know, on the stage or in front of the camera. We mean everybody that helps put together artistic and entertainment events and concerts and all of those things. So that includes, you know, engineers, producers, light technicians, MUAs, and stylists, specifically celebrity stylists. So today, I have the honor of introducing you all to All Style 7, known on all the social media platforms, but I know him as Terrell Ransom Sr., and he happens to be my cousin. So.
My cousin!
Welcome, Terrell. How are you today?
I'm so good. So glad to be here. I love you so much as my cousin. And just as a person, you're like one of my favorite people on the entire planet. So.
Oh, stop it. We share that for each other. Now, listen, y'all, we've been in each other's corner since we were born. And I'm talking about
literally
pew babies in church.
Yeah.
Sharing the tambourine.
Yeah.
Hoping to get up and sing in the choir together and direct choirs together. That was like our shared dream.
Yes.
And I'm so excited that we're able to connect as adults and see how our journeys have led us back to this place. So I'm excited to get into some things. I see some people came in. Michael, I see you there. It's good to see you. Okay, so Terrell.
Yes.
You are originally from Detroit, Michigan. You know, obviously we're both from, but now you reside in LA. Can you tell our listeners how you got in transition from Detroit, Michigan by way of Houston, right?
Mm-hmm.
and then to LA?
Yes.
Okay, break it down for us.
Yeah, so born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, went to Oak Park High School for people who want to know all the details. Oak Park High. Yeah, and then my family and I, we moved to Houston, lived there for a few years. My son was born in Detroit. He started growing up in Houston. And then he really wanted to be in the entertainment business. And so my ex-wife and him, they decided to move out to California. I was doing pretty good in Houston. There was a new place for me, and I basically was like, hey, go ahead out to California, see how he does, and if he's doing well, I'm moving out there with you guys so I can be close to him. And here I am years later here in California.
Wow. Now, wait a minute. Did he have any like prospects for like any jobs, or was it just like, okay, we're just gonna make this move and try to hustle and see what it
Literally,
does?
it was like he as a young child, he was like, I want to be on TV, I want to be on magazines. And his mom, who is such a go-getter, she's like, well, we're gonna try to make this happen. And
Hmm.
soon as he got out here, I mean, a very short period of time, he was booked for Days of Our Lives, and that was like,
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
oh, okay, I'm coming there.
Right. And he's also the voice of in Gumball.
Yes, Darwin. He plays Darwin
Darwin.
on
Yes.
Amazing World of Gumball. He's on the series Good Trouble.
Yes.
Um, so God is really good and has
That's
really
amazing.
expanded his territory. Yeah.
Now, okay, so we have people who are watching who are not just creators themselves, but also parents of creatives.
Hmm.
And I know there are people who think about, moving to LA or making that big move for a
Yeah.
career move. What advice could you give them now that you're on the other side of that,
Hmm.
where
Hmm.
your child has made it and is working diligently and
A
has lots
working
of
adult. He's
credits?
18 now.
Oh, okay. Adulting. Cool. I saw that post,
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
moving up in the world. So come on. But what advice would you give to parents who kind of want their children to have that same success inside of the entertainment industry that want to move to LA specifically?
Sure, you have to be prepared to stick it out. I think that's one of it doesn't always happen immediately.
Mm,
But if this is something that you want to do, you got to be prepared to stick it out because it's like the minute you leave, that could be your opportunity, that your time to shine. So I think that's literally the biggest thing. Be prepared. It's very expensive here in Los Angeles, California, because
okay.
the weather's so nice. So,
That part.
but yeah, if you're able to stick it out, and you have to be here. I wouldn't suggest trying to do back and forth.
Hmm.
You got to live here. I think that's
You
the
got to
biggest.
commit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to commit.
I understand. I understand. I mean, I'm in I guess, the entertainment hub
Uh
of
huh.
Poland,
Uh huh.
and I lived in another city for 6 years before I came here.
Yeah.
And it's a big difference when you live in the
When
entertainment
you live,
hub.
yeah, because there's so
Hmm.
many opportunities that happen, the networking opportunities. So it's good to be where you're wanting to succeed.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that. Now,
Hmm.
I just want to stop at something that you just said. That you said it was your ex-wife and your son that moved first, and or decided to move in, and you were like, okay, I'm going to join you guys. I want to be close to my son. First of all,
Yeah,
big ups, because
yeah.
you said that Houston was a new place, and you were finding yourself there and stuff like that. But the
Hmm.
fact that you just picked up everything to support your son and your ex-wife to still keep that family unit together for him, I think
Hmm.
that's incredible. especially
It
going into
it
the
is.
entertainment field.
It's absolutely incredible, and it's absolutely God. Like, I mean,
Mm.
um, her and I relationship is beautiful. She's one of my best friends, even today, and I think that's one thing that we were very secure on, was that we were going to remain a family unit,
Mm-hmm.
for him. You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's why he's been able to be so successful, because you along with living in California, being where you're supposed to be, it's also good to have some sort of foundation, some sort of family unit,
Yeah.
that can help you, stay grounded.
I hear that. I hear
Hmm.
that. Now, since it was your son's desire to go to LA for prospect jobs in the entertainment field, what about you? Did you have
Yeah.
any goals or anything in your mindset for LA besides supporting your family?
Well,
Did you have any
it's really
plans?
interesting because I've been working in the fashion industry, low key, kind of behind the scenes, nothing celebrity wise,
Okay.
for years. I've always worked in retail or found myself in retail jobs, and even when I was
You've
in
always
Detroit.
given us fashion, first of all. Personally. Thank you.
Listen,
Pause.
so I did fashion shows in Detroit.
Hmm.
So it was when the decision was to move to California. I'm like, well, this might be like the best opportunity for me.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, I would have probably never been in California. Like that wasn't like my initial dream per se. But it was just kind of like, well, if I'm gonna make this happen, California definitely is one of the, fashion hubs for sure.
Hmm. Okay. And did you, speaking of fashion, before you made the move to LA, had you ever considered like New York or, because I know New York is the fashion
Yeah,
capital, or.
yeah. I did, and still not opposed.
Mhm.
um, I kind of like my mid 20s, 30s, it got to the place where I wanted more security, right? So
Mhm.
because fashion retail is not for the faint of heart, so I was kind of gearing myself in the more corporate arena. Houston was a great place for that, to kind of like, find my footing there. And so yeah, I think it just kind of, where God has you, you're going to end up. I
Okay.
think that's just kind of where I found myself.
Okay. Because you got to kind of make it work where you are and in the
Yeah,
direction and places that you want to go, and
absolutely,
and and those doors, just to be prepared to walk through the doors when they open,
absolutely. And
regardless of where you are.
regardless of where you are, and it's like it's so interesting that I'm finding. I heard Tabitha Brown giving a seminar, and she was talking about, all of the experiences that you have gone through, work related or whatever, actually has led you to where you are right now. And it's so true. It's so true. It's like I've been in the school of learning for a while, and so it's just
Mhm.
kind of like it's starting to now manifest.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, my mic is rubbing onto my hoodie, somebody said, so I'm gonna try to adjust it so that you know, we don't have any
Y'all get ready, because
issues.
I'm gonna be laughing the entire time, because Brian makes me crack up.
I am slightly crazy, but in a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way. No, okay, so I want to circle back to something that you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you mentioned Tabitha Brown,
Mm-hmm.
and recently I saw a post of her
Mm-hmm.
wearing your designs,
Yeah.
your custom fashions.
Custom. Yeah.
So, how? Okay, well, let me just say this. On social media, a lot of times we watch and we follow people, and we can see where they start, and then we can see some people shoot up, and we
Mm-hmm.
can watch their career take off. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's fascinating to watch you take off.
Man, I
It's
can start crying.
amazing
Yeah, yeah.
to watch you
It's
take off.
fascinating to me. No, it's like no, for real, for real. Like it's fascinating to me. Especially I don't mind saying being 40 and over in the 40 and
Hmm.
over club. Like it's just like wow, it's starting to finally happen. And it's a blessing to be able to kind of be like, you know, to actually see the transition, and it's happening fast, thank God.
Yeah, yeah. Now, can you tell us how, like, what were some of the first things you did in LA that kind of got you on the path to where you are now?
Working in retail, and the type
Okay.
of retail that I did, it kind of put me in an area that was, you know, high traffic for a lot of different kinds of people. I
Hmm.
worked in like the buy sell trade industry, and which is that's where people come in, they sell their clothes, trade it for yada yada for cash, etc. And the area that I was working in, I met like a lot of people. Like some of my closest friends right now to this day were through meeting, you know, people at work.
Okay.
So we'll probably talk about this a little later, but I also think for people who want to be in the industry, find yourself in places where the industry is like, and you don't have to it doesn't have to be celebrity, it doesn't have to be grand. Just find yourself trying to work in some facet of the
Hmm.
industry that you desire to be in.
Okay. Okay. And
Yeah.
you started, I mean, because I remember watching you, post things of your own fashion,
Hmm.
things that you were just filling your oats in and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
posting and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, listen, one day I just need to be styled by my cousin because I feel like I do an okay job, but just
You do.
clearly out of the two of us, one of the
You
celebrity
do.
stylists and one of us is not. So I'll leave that there. But I watched that, and you have such a unique, creative, bespoke
Mm,
style that's it just crosses a lot of boundaries,
mhm,
and it
mhm,
makes you look so individual, so special and
mhm,
unique. And then um, there was this shift where you begin to start collaborating with other brands
mhm,
and
mhm,
things like that. So can you talk to us about that? Like, how did you transition from, doing things yourself from posting? Because there are people who are, feel like they want to go into the same industry as you and are at the stage of, just styling themselves and posting photos and things like that. But what happened in your transition to begin to collaborate with other brands that kind of took you to a different level?
Well, I think just number one, being an individual,
Mm-hmm.
it literally like it starts as um, you know, people admiring my style, and they just be like, what do you think about this? They just start, you know, what do you think about this? How do you think this looks? And it just kind of snowballed into, well, maybe on a grander scale. Well, we have this business situation. How do you think this should look? What should this look like image wise, creatively? Um, just giving my honest opinion, and I
Mm-hmm.
think, like you said, starting from an original space, you know, taking little bits of ideas and concepts from different places and people, and creating your own. It has to be authentic, and I think that's why I'm able to what's the word? I'm able to portray this image, and it looks effortless because it honestly is. It's like it's coming from an authentic place.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so then in that vein,
Hmm.
can you explain for us, you know, who is All Style 7 and explain the style or the passion or the drive behind what makes the brand that you've
Hmm.
created?
Fun fact, so if going back to MySpace days, creating a username, right? And so I mean, if you know MySpace, so that's years ago, and I was
Yeah. Somehow we're still 19, but math.
oh, oh,
Okay.
but I was, trying to come up with a name for my like Yahoo and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just thinking of myself, and I'm like, I'm kind of like all styles. Like, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
one specific thing. I love fashion. I love, I love music. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so eccentric and so vast. And so it's kind of like all style. And then seven, it's like the complete number, right? And so
Okay.
it's just like all styles complete. And that's just kind of where it kind of bubbles up from.
Yeah, see, but when you know who you are, you know how to label yourself
Well,
and
well,
work.
yeah, yeah. And
I love
but
it.
you know what, Brian? I think it's also important um to keep stay in it. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Because your title or your label doesn't always come immediately.
true.
And you have to kind of like play in it. You have to try different things, and see what works, see what doesn't. I've definitely had some fashion misses, not
Mm,
many, but
okay.
but because I wasn't afraid to experiment. And
Yeah.
I think that's for our listeners and people who are watching, like, just have fun with it, and find that place where you're like, this feels like me.
Yeah. I mean, for me, fashion is art, like individual expression.
It
So
is.
for me, there are no misses. It's just
Mm-hmm.
this is what I was feeling today,
No,
and if
it's
you didn't get
Mrs.
it,
It's
okay,
Mrs.
okay, thank you. Now
We
you're
got some
educating me.
pink.
Okay, there are
No.
misses. You hear that, everybody? There are clear misses. Okay, don't
Mm.
miss. But that's why
No,
we
no.
need people like you,
Yeah,
especially when we elevate to a public artist platform.
right.
You know what you do, like I always say, I have concert clothes. So,
Right, right.
and so I need to break out of that kind of concert clothes idea
Yeah,
and have more of a image that I just carry that speaks of who I am from the inside out
yeah,
versus a switch that
right.
when I'm on stage, it's not like a completely different person, but an elevated maybe
Sure, sure.
version of who I see myself in front of people on the stage.
Well,
I would
in
like to,
terms of like stylist and image consulting and creative direction, I think where I found my flow in my ministry is recognizing that those you don't you don't that's it's a lot of energy, right, to
Mhm.
figure out how am I going to present myself in a way that is very representative of who I am, right?
Yeah.
That statement alone is very weighty, right? And so I
Mhm.
think image consultants, fashion stylists, fashion architects, they take the weight, they take the burden, so that your energy can be directed into pure art.
Mm.
So I think that's why it's so important to connect yourself with people who actually get ministry, who actually get who you are,
Yeah.
and that way they can kind of take some of that concern away, so
Mm.
that you can be free to be the artist that you are.
Okay. Now, when do you recommend somebody that's an up and coming artist starts to consult with I like what you said, a fashion architect?
That's Law Roach, man. Zendaya's stylist, and he is the fashion architect, which is he's one of my all time my icons.
Okay.
Because again, it's just like this vast fashion vocabulary and range. And so yeah, I think there's never a time not to have it. I
Mm.
think people think that they can't afford it.
Talk
But
about it.
but guess what? You have a cousin who know how to dress.
Specifically me.
You have those friends that are not stylists, right? They're not stylists. How about you give them an opportunity? Hey, I'm trying to, this is this is the direction that I would like to go in. This is something that I'm interested in, or I'm going to event. Connect with those people. Like, there are people who are really immersed in fashion. And they don't even have to be stylists. They love clothes. They love art. They love all those things. And so I think try to find someone who can, kind of help guide you.
Now listen, and because we all have, and we know somebody who can dress.
You do.
Who can give us some advice.
Yeah.
But also, if obviously in this day and age with technology, we have the ability to reach further than we had been able to previously. And through our social platform here with Mesh, now people have the opportunity to connect with people maybe who are in a different country or other areas of where we live, where we can get different viewpoints, different insight. Maybe some things are popping here that may not be popping in the States, so you can be one up on everybody else. So being able to connect with people through this platform is something that we're really passionate about. So you never know, after this, people may be hitting you up to style them, virtually.
Virtually, absolutely. Those services are available. They're available.
Yes. Okay. Now, you have now seen your stylings hit the red carpet.
Yeah.
Regularly now. So talk about that process. Like, how is it to go from, sharing your inspiration through social media to then being recognized by people in the industry to the point to where they're like, listen, I'm going on this red carpet and your stylings need to be represented on my body.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? How did that start?
Oh, it's mind blowing. I mean, I am in such a place of gratitude, because every single time feels like a new time. It feels like a new experience, and it's quite. I think on a platform that you're speaking of, where it's kind of becoming a little bit more noticeable, it's been within the last year, actually, after coming off of my full-time retail job, to just kind of like really dive in and pursue my career. And I think that, stepping off of the ledge, stepping out on faith, when I took that leap, that's when it just immediately took off. And again, I have to give praise to God, because it's like, I couldn't make this up if I wanted to. I couldn't have asked for it. It's just kind of like God was like, okay, here you go. This is something that you've wanted to do, and because of your faith, elevation.
And the crazy thing is you get to be 100% you the entire time.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part about it.
It's special. It's special. Like, I think that's why, my style, things that you see on the red carpet, it's just so authentic, because number one, I'm not trying to push my own opinion, right? My job is to make you feel like $100 billion, regardless of the budget. That's my goal. I want you to feel, and you can't often do that if you're not comfortable. Even if you're just like, I'm just gonna do it, and like, because I trust you. Yes, that happens sometimes, but it always comes from a place of what do you want to look like, and then I can assist you with creating that image.
Okay. Now, can I ask, when you're styling somebody for an event, or specifically a red carpet, is it like original pieces that you design? Do you purchase designs? Do you rent designs? Like, I don't know that process, and I'm sure a lot of people don't know either. Like,
Yeah.
what is your personal approach
Well,
to styling people?
it's all of the above. Actually, sometimes it is designing looks.
Mm,
Sometimes we're offered clothes by designers to showcase.
mm,
So designers who would like to have some things showcased, get at me. We can get
okay.
your things on the red carpet. Like, I mean, it is
Boop, boop, boop,
it's
boop.
boom boom. Like it's different. It just depending on what the job requires.
Mm,
It that you get it from. Some people have things in their closets already. It's just it's different avenues.
okay, so you kind of use every resource that you have possible to kind of
Absolutely.
bring to life whatever the vision that you have.
Whatever the
Yeah.
vision, for sure, for sure.
Dope. Dope. Now, I know that like for the Met Gala, there are themes for like red carpet and stuff like that.
Hmm.
When you do other red carpets that are like not the Met Gala, do they have themes, or do you kind of just feel the
So
vibe of what's
no,
happening in fashion?
you know what, Brian, I believe like when I'm done with a job, I want it to be said that I understood the assignment, right? So it's like depending on what it is, like I do my research, right?
Okay.
So it's like if we're doing depending on what the movie premiere may be, like do some research. What is the movie about? Like,
Okay.
like is it gangsters? Is it from the 20s? Is it like, and so I'm going to pull some of the resources and information from that to kind of come up with a theme, if you will, or
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So thoughtful styling.
Thoughtful.
Mm,
Be
yes,
thoughtful.
it's
Yeah.
researched.
Yeah, do your
Yeah.
research. I mean, but then sometimes it's just required for you to just give your tens and shut it down, regardless of what the theme is. But there's a time and a place for that as well. Yeah,
That's true.
do your research.
That's true. I hear that. I hear that.
Hmm.
Now, so far on your rise, have you done anything so far that you felt like, okay, this was on my list, but I thought it was going to come further down the line, but it's happening right now? I'm super shocked and excited at the same time.
Everything that has happened last year. No, okay.
I hear
So
that.
like no, for real. So like, we've been featured. When my client, Terrell, shout out Terrence. He's one of the people that has been like, yo, for years and years and years. He's like, yo, I'm taking you with me. You're gonna be my stylist
Wow.
for years. And like a
Wow.
lot of times I would have been helping him a lot longer, but I had to work. I had
Yeah.
to work. I had to work. And so it was just, I was being hindered. But yes, working with him, he's an Emmy Award winning actor. That's like, who gets that? Who gets to say that? We've been featured in like GQ, online, for like fashion on the red carpet. We've been featured in Essence. Like these are things that
Wow.
are like, yo, that's like down the road,
Yeah.
So that's like, so now I'm just kind of like, what it do, baby? Like,
Okay. Okay.
what's next? Yeah, yeah.
Because then the goal was this, what you thought, but now that it's happening so
Look
fast, it's like,
at
okay,
God.
let me get some new goals.
Look at it. It's like, I mean, it's exceeding my expectations.
I
Yeah,
hear that. And
yeah,
I am
and a lot
so
faster too.
excited to watch. I'm telling you to watch it happen. And I
Yeah,
know you. You know what I'm saying? I
right,
can watch it
right.
happen for other people and be happy for them. But
Yeah,
to watch it, I'm just like, you better
yeah. It's
work.
incredible. It's incredible.
So excited.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that
Hey y'all, my people are
Terrence.
in
Oh,
here.
your
Sorry,
people.
I
Okay,
want to
give them
say
a shout out.
hey to my people. Hi y'all.
Yes. Okay, so Terrence is your
Yes.
client that you work
Mhm.
with, and you guys have known each other for years.
Right.
Okay, talk to me about how important it is to have relationships and community in the line of work that you're in, which obviously has brought you fruit
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, I met him in, doing retail. Like, I think, you know, that's why it's important to try to find yourself, especially in LA, and, actually all over. Networking it's a real thing, and it's really
Hmm.
valuable.
Hmm.
And so, making those connections, asking questions, offering your services, you never know where that can take you.
Yes, I hear that. I hear
Yeah.
that. I mean, because I love what I do, and I just
Hmm.
can't imagine it without people
Yeah.
because it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of reality TV. I
Hmm.
do. I'm just be honest about it.
Right.
Whether it's on network television or on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot about how people are talking about their own personal grind and I'm doing this, I'm hustling, and almost throwing shade on everybody else to kind of just lift themselves up.
Yeah.
And I just know that it's hard to make it out here by yourself. And just this impression that, everybody feels like they have to do it on their own. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand when setbacks come and people
Yeah.
screw you,
Yeah.
it can make you a little bit salty and
Hmm.
and lose trust and faith in people.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I've never wanted to do any of what I'm doing by myself. How
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, I think, I think people are at the core of business. Period. Like, at the end of
Mm,
the day, it's about getting this bag, right? And so, you can't get the bag without people,
that's true.
and treating people like you want to be treated is
Hmm.
that will take you far, regardless of how they treat you.
Hmm.
I'm a firm believer that you get back what you're putting out, and so, being kind to people, being
Hmm.
honest. Don't just say yes, uh, to get a job. Like, be
Hmm.
yourself, be authentic, tell the truth, and, those things, they will absolutely take you far.
I
Absolutely.
hear that. I
Yeah.
hear that. I mean, and that's wisdom. My question is, does that wisdom come from experience or did you learn from other people about those things that you just said?
I mean, I like we talked about. I'm a pew baby, grew up in church, and those foundations have never left me.
Hmm.
And I think that's, I learned a long time ago, which is actually crazy. Like, it it's led me on this path that I am today. Like, we grew up in church, we grew up
Yes.
dressing up like every Sunday. We
Yep.
learned the importance of, coming, like, you're going somewhere different. You're going to church, right? We're going
Yes.
before God. So you're supposed to of course come as you are. Not don't shame me, y'all. Come as you are, for sure. But at the
Yes.
same time, you ain't going to the playground. You're going to meet God. And it's like, I really learned the concept of, like, dressing up, putting on a garment of praise. Like,
Hmm.
sometimes you don't feel beautiful.
Yeah. Say it.
Sometimes you feel very ugly. Sometimes you feel like, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you
Hmm.
actually have to put on, like, a mindset, if you will. Like, today is going to be a good day, and I'm going to start with what I look like. So let's,
And it'll change your mood
oh
now.
my
You
God,
skip past that one
absolutely.
mirror like, now wait a minute.
You'll be like, oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't accidentally got cute, and I didn't even mean to.
Not accidentally.
Yes, yes.
Mm,
I hear that, man. I when it comes to like style and fashion, again, I was talking about being on stage
hmm.
and having like a separate look or something
Yeah.
like that. as people are starting to search for their style,
Mm-hmm.
like say some people want to not only reach out to some people who are close to them that can you dress and kind of know what to do. If
Yeah.
people want to develop their own style, like kind of
Mm-hmm.
every day, maybe to transition on stage, what
Yeah.
kind of advice would you give to us who, you know, we think we cute, but we're not really 100 for sure we cute in other people's eyes?
Right. Right. I think, okay, so I think a good place to start is like, celebrities. Let's make
Mm,
it, let's like break it down. Like you have celebrities or people that you um admire, like their style. It's like kind of start working from that place, like not
mm,
totally mimicking. I think it's important to have like a vast platforms, like maybe 3 or 4 different celebrities that you see. You're like, you know what, I really like their style, right?
mm-hmm.
Because you're not on the stage every day, right? Or you're
Yeah.
not, you're not going to the club every night. Some of y'all are,
Mm,
but like you don't have to dress up stage worthy every day. Find different styles. How does this celebrity dress when paparazzi catches them going to the mall or out to dinner, or and you can start building a catalog for yourself. um
mm,
and go, like, places like, I'm not going to name because I'm not sponsored by them yet, but there are stores that are on a more lesser budget that
okay.
mimic luxury, right?
Yeah.
Like, window shop, see what's happening at these stores. Like,
Yeah.
they're really good at staying on top of trends, and that can help tremendously.
Hmm. And what about consignment shopping? Because clearly you are a master
Yeah.
at being able to
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely. At
like
all style
repurpose
7
stuff.
allstyle7.com, you can
Get into
find,
it.
there's a vintage or sourced section, things that I've actually personally um, have looked for. It's like, I can be your personal stylist without even meeting you. Like, these are just
Okay.
selections that I'm like, these things are hot. They are
Yeah.
current. They're on trend. They are sustainable. Um, so yeah, but like secondhand, that's always a wonderful option. Number one, because it helps to save the planet, with sustainability.
Mm,
And then you get some really good stuff that has lots and lots of life to it, that you might not have been able to afford right off the rack.
okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
what I'm talking about. I mean, yeah, and I know you have to have patience to do that
yeah.
because I've tried to, style a couple of choirs back in the day, and I was like, listen, we don't have we don't have all this money for these specific stores, so we're gonna go right on to this consignment shop and see how we
Right,
can pull it together. But you have
right.
to still have some kind of a sense of almost like a map or something like that to
You
kind of
should
follow.
absolutely. You should always. One of my tips of the trade is to, shop secondhand, shop it often, and don't shop with a outfit in mind. So I do
Okay.
not suggest secondhand shopping, unless you're a pro, uh, for like trying to find something for an event, or like, what you should do is shop these places often, and with the goal of mind, I'm going to just find something that I like, right? And start building your wardrobe and your
Okay.
repertoire of, items that, when the time comes, you're like, you know what, this jacket is
Let
going
me
to be
put it.
perfect for
Yes.
XYZ.
Okay.
Yes, I feel like a lot of people burn themselves out with like secondhand shopping. So that's why you can go to allstyle7.com. You might find something that you like, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to just buy that, put it in the closet, and watch. There's going to
And
be an
hold on
opportunity.
to it.
It'll be right there waiting for you
Yes. Now
at a
listen, I
budget.
wore this jacket last week. No, I had this workshop And I had found this jacket, and see, I
Uh-huh.
like to shop on sale. When there are sales, that's when
Right.
I go. I don't look for anything specific, but anything that catches my eye because it's on
Yeah.
sale,
Mm-hmm.
I go on and cop it. And I
Yeah.
had this jacket, and I've been wanting to wear that jacket forever. And I kind of just gave up on it because in the pandemic hit and everything
Mm-hmm.
like that. Needless to
Mm-hmm.
say, this past week I got a chance to wear the jacket, and I felt
Beautiful.
a little nice
You
about it.
felt your judge.
Yes, but that was the whole. That's
Weren't you
I did
glad
what
you
you just
had it?
said. Yeah,
You
because I could
so
just pull it out at that moment, and
absolutely.
it
So
came in
fashion, that's a
time.
fashion tip, y'all. Like just go shop and buy pieces. It doesn't have to be for a specific outfit.
Mhm.
Build your outfit as you go.
Yes. Ooh,
Mhm.
I love this. Now, listen, I can't even believe we've already been talking for
Oh my
47
goodness.
minutes. Crazy.
Seems like
But there are a couple of things that I want to ask you about
sure.
to make sure I ask you about before I go. Um, First of all, it's your signature style and your signature logo, the smiley face that's hand
Mm-hmm.
painted. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so talk about how that developed and how that became your signature to your designs.
Yeah. So the smile, the smile is it's not really signature, is it? Right? It's
Okay, sure.
there's smiles everywhere. But I am gonna say when I started doing the smileys, it started popping up all over the place. But but okay, so here it goes. So I started when I came off of my job, I was like, and I've always wanted to be a designer. So I'm like,
Hmm.
what can I do? And I started kind of thinking back on some of like my greatest like kind of like fashion moments. And it took me back to Detroit. When I was in Detroit, there's this, I don't know if they still have it, but it's called Fashion Rocks. They used to have these
Hmm.
like major fashion shows. It was like celebrity for Detroit. And I
Hmm.
remember I had this vintage suit and I painted on the jacket Fashion Rocks in white paint. Um, I mean, I was like 18, 19, 20 when
Yeah.
this was. So this is like 20 years ago. Okay. I've
Wow.
been
Okay.
in the game. Right. Okay. So I thought
Okay.
about that. Then I thought about I have this leather jacket that I painted one day. Like I was like, I wanna have a motorcycle jacket that's painted. And on the back of that jacket is a smiley face. Right. And I still
Mm.
have that jacket to this day. That was like 7 to 10 years ago.
Okay.
So now that I am full time All Style 7, whatever that means.
Hmm.
I'm like, I was like, I can do this. Also, working in the industry, I have a pretty good idea of what sells and what doesn't. I have that concept down. And so I was like, I wanna be in the vintage somehow. How can I make this happen? And it's just like one day I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start putting some smiley faces on a suit. And it just kind of like took off from there. The
Hmm.
smiley face, because All Style 7 it's an art collective, if you will. It
Okay.
doesn't stop at the smiley face. That's just where I am right now.
Hmm.
The signature, it may change, but right now,
Because
like
I've
the
seen some
smiley.
flowers recently.
Okay, you look at God, just kind of. No,
Okay.
so what it represents is, again, it's kind of like that garment of praise thing. Like
Hmm.
you might not feel like smiling, you may be depressed, it's so much going on in the world right now. You put on All Style 7 with the smiley faces, people are going to smile at you.
Yeah.
They're
It's
going to
happy
find
clothes.
joy. If they're going to find, it's going to happen. And so it just kind of like stemmed from there.
Yeah. That is
Smile anyway. Smile
your
anyway.
joy
Like
and ministry are
it,
coming
like
through your clothes.
it's through the clothes. It is.
And for it to end up on the shoulders of Tabitha Brown, which
Like
no, because seriously though, her whole
huge.
brand and personality and everything just mixed with everything you just said that the smiley face represents.
Yeah.
Just that light, hope, love. It was just a perfect match. And I'm
Yeah.
so happy that,
I am too, my God.
come through.
Like, no, like she
That's
is,
crazy.
man, like Tabitha is like, just like like you talked about, you watch people skyrocket, right? Like I've been such a fan of her. I remember she was she started out with the vegan bacon sandwich, and I was just like, this lady is so authentic and so happy. Like, she reminds you of your mom, your aunties, your little sister. Like, she's that girl, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, for her to not only to rock the brand, but to talk about it on her platform, it's just like, I could cry. Like, it's just, it's a good match. So yeah, that was a big deal, big moment,
And so special. I mean, I listen. The time I get a celebrity to just shout me out on anything, my head is not even gonna fit in this square. No,
see, Brian.
I'm playing.
I know you are. You're playing. I know.
Okay, so talk to me about what's next.
What
Is
next?
next for All Style 7?
Yeah. Okay. So, like, stay tuned with All Style 7, like, just the brand. I have so many ideas, and they are like, they're coming to pass as we speak. But also, like, I have some wonderful ideas for fashion. I'll just say that, some really good fashion ideas, different concepts, definitely staying in the lane of sustainability, like, just creativity, creatively, working on video shoots and just building concepts, like, yeah, travel, it's coming to pass. So we're excited. Many great things.
And I'm going to continue to watch you shine and support and uplift all the way from over here.
Oh, all the way over there.
Now, when it's time for us to collab,
listen, fly me out.
Fly
me out.
Let this be some documentation.
I know this interview is about me, but y'all, my cousin is like amazing. You're amazing. You're a star. You are a star. And you need a stylist. So, like we talked about, like, not because you can't dress, Brian, because you have other things to worry about.
But that I feel like, for me, that's what I'm taking away from the most from this encounter for myself personally. I put so much on myself trying to do so many different things. Yeah. And I get so overwhelmed that it's frustrating to be an artist that's independent, because you don't have a team of people around you that are helping you with these other things. So just having someone to take on the style aspect, would free my brain so much.
Free your brain, absolutely.
All I got to do is say, listen, now I sweat a lot, and I like to be out on stage, and I run around and move constantly. Make it work.
Love it.
And I like to shine, so
like
to shimmer and,
So good.
Let all my colors fly. Hallelujah. Yes. Okay. Last thing. I don't want to skip over this, but you said something very important, that you were working and that kind of stopped you from being able to style earlier in your earlier days.
Yeah.
When did you make that transition from working for other people to working for yourself? And how can people, what wisdom do you have for people to do that as a stylist, to move from?
Yes. Well, for me, and I'm sure like a lot of people, we're in a great place right now. The pandemic was a global shift. Like it just kind of took us off of our kilter, which for me, it was just kind of like, if I don't take this opportunity now, I'm never going to do it. Point blank. And I think you have to get to your pandemic place.
No, but I didn't ask you to preach. No, wait.
Sometimes you got to you got to go through a pandemic, Brian, that will make you say, you know what? Some of y'all not ready. You're not ready yet, and that's okay. That's okay too. You got to get to that place. But when that pandemic comes, and you get to the place where you're like, you know what? It's either this is happening or it's not going to happen at all. Right. Yeah. And so for me, that's what happened. I was just like, you know what? I'm about to just straight trust God and take this leap. And if it don't work, maybe I need to do something else.
And really, you can always get a job.
You can get a job.
It may not be the job that you want.
Right. You can get a job.
There's nothing wrong with taking a risk to see
like,
if your dreams and passions are.
And I got to, and I got to say too, like for real, it's even with all of the accolades, even with all the things that you've seen, Brian, like it's been times when I've been like, ooh, is this really working? Like an Instagram post ain't paying my bills. So like, but again, it's like God will always make something happen or bring something to light that's like, okay, you're doing what you good.
You got it.
You got this, bro.
You got it.
Yeah.
Listen, once again, I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
From man to man.
Yeah.
From a black man to a black man.
Yeah.
From cousins coming up from Detroit.
Yeah.
We didn't know we were going to end up here.
Who knew?
In this space. Like, what are we talking about? So yes. I'm really excited for you, and I'm keeping my thumbs in Poland. We say that instead of crossing fingers. I'm praying for you, lifting you up. Clearly, you got support all in these comments. People that are proud of you. It's your season. It's your time. And remember me.
How can I forget my Brian?
Yeah, but no, really keep going and just know you got supporters all around the world that are loving watching you win.
Oh, this is like sickening. This is very international. And so like I'm going to add this in my resume, internationally interviewed. Oh, okay.
That part. And in your own words, oh yes.
Oh yes. On today.
On today.
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about. Well, Terrell, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your energy, your heart, your love, your passion for what you do. Yeah. I'm sure you have inspired so many people who have been watching, and who knows, we may call you back again and chat it up again, as you continue to move on up in your career. So
anytime, anything for Brian Fentress. Anything.
Thank you. That means so much to me. So for everybody else out there, thank you for giving us your time. We hope that you are able to receive something that is encouraging in your artistic path and learning how to connect with other creatives and to build this community internationally of creatives that can support, uplift, and encourage each other to be our best versions of our best selves.
Absolutely.
So until next time, make sure that you're following Mesh CLC TV, Mesh the podcast on Instagram, and also go to the website, themeshcollective.com. Register so you can find out more information about our future events and interviews that are coming up, and we'll be right here supporting you all.
Send me this so I can post it on my page.
Got it. I got you. All right. Love you, Terrell. Love you, everybody. See you all soon. Bye. Peace.
Welcome to Mesh.